Sup guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we go. This is episode 3 of World Provinces. You guys asked for it. And we got 3 likes on the series, which is enough to get 3 likes on the series, which is insane, because it's my first ever series that has got likes on it. And the first ever series I've ever asked for likes on. And I hope we can keep getting more likes, because for the 4th episode it's going to be 4 likes. So if you can get at least 1 like on this video, then I'll be happy. Because we've got at least, I haven't checked, the first video has 2 likes, and the second video only has 1 because it's got 6 views on it, compared to the 54 that the first video has, which I do not understand. Why you do this to me? Well, if you do like this series, do subscribe, because we will have other series like this one on the channel. Because I'm new to YouTube. Come on, help a small channel out. Give me to 10 subscribers. Building my map right now. I was building the old map. It's got loaded in. Alright, there we go. I don't know what changes I'm gonna make currently. Oh yeah. Last episode we did some African stuff. Well, we might do some other African stuff in this episode. First of all, I think that we should do some stuff in the Balkans. I think that tensions would definitely end up rising after the fall of the European Union, after it basically doesn't really exist in the eastern part of Europe. I think that since Turkey's new expansion happening into Bulgaria, it would really anger Greece and its allies of Albania, Croatia, and Egypt, and also Israel. And they also want the northern part of Cyprus. I don't know who would win this conflict, but I'm pretty sure it would Greece because of all their allied support. But Turkey is also going to have allies on this side, because if this war was going to happen, it would be unfair. I think that they would definitely have Syria as a puppet, and I think that Armenia would want to join in the war, and they would bring Iran into the war, which Iraq would be pulled into the war, and so would Turkmenistan. So it's going to be a pretty big war. I think that Iran would quickly fall to Iraq. And Armenia would get some provinces off of Turkey and would just grab some provinces off of the collapsing Iran. So let's just start off with giving some provinces to other countries. And I think that India would also take some land to just ask for it or demand it or something. So Turkmenistan is developing itself as a pretty good-sized nation. But wouldn't take that much land, but would still take a lot of land. And then Iraq would take these lands. Forgot this part of Iran. And then Armenia would end up annexing the rest, and would take this and then leave the war. Turkmenistan and Iraq would all leave the war. So it just leaves this out. And now Egypt and Israel, well, I think they would, this is just because I don't think that, I just don't want Israel. I don't have anything against Israel. This is just pretend like Israel still is around, and they would conquer some of Syria, and then they would unite, and then Turkey would unite, and then And then the war between Greece, and then Greece would start fighting, taking all this land that they gained in Bulgaria because they were fighting everyone else. Greece would take a ton of land and would also take Constantinople and this, and then Turkey would be pretty weak. And also, guys, I think that Jordan would either fight for independence or become a puppet of Egypt, because they're literally surrounded by Egypt mostly. Alright, so we should definitely give Jordan to Egypt. So this is an alliance. So let's look at the Greek alliance. They have Greece, Albania, Croatia, Egypt, Oman. And do you guys think that Armenia should be? I definitely think that Armenia would be in the Greek alliance because they want to get a lot of Turkish lands because it used to be Armenian lands. Turkey would end up conquering. Never mind, they wouldn't. Because it's their allies. I forgot. That's their allies. By Greece taking Libya, Italy would get really mad at this and really want to fight, and they also want all the coastline of these lands and would want to have all this land, so they would end up declaring war, not thinking that everybody in this alliance would join the war, and it was going to be a war against Croatia and Greece, but all their allies joined the war, and Turkey is really weak and is the equivalent of Croatia and Greece after their war with Turkey. They took their opportunity. Albania would even get some stuff too. I think they would definitely get this part right. Like the part of the loot. Croatia would even move in like this. How about we give Greece Sardinia? I think that's decent, okay? That's good. I think that Greece is probably one of the strongest countries in the Mediterranean right now because they owned so much coastline. And Greece would even want to expand their colonial empire. I think they would conquer some other lands. They would end up fighting Ethiopia and conquering a bunch of their lands. And Egypt would even help with the war. Alright, so let's give Egypt this, and now they are the dominant power in the Red Sea. Egypt is. It's not shared anymore, it's just they're the dominant power. They control the Red Sea now. Nobody else. Just them. I don't know where else. Okay, guys, so we're going to expand Ethiopia into other lands all across. So we're just going to expand their territory. They're going to have this orange nation right here all to themselves, and is going to become one of their colonies as well. And the Greeks are establishing themselves as a colonial empire, and because they want more resources and more shipping, which also with the Greeks conquering these lands, the Greeks are, since their alliance is the very economy, they start putting a lot of money into their colonies, and these areas get richer. Again, this is a glitch, just so you guys know that. So, now that the Ethiopians have basically fallen apart, the Greeks are probably going to end up either splitting them with Egypt or just taking the rest of their lands, and they end up getting Kenya in their alliance, and Kenya gets all their lands back, as long as a sweet empire. Greece wants all this and wins over Ethiopia. But Greece wants more colonies because they've been pumping tons of money into their colonies, and there's a weak neighbor of Guyana. Okay, let's go into South America and give them a South American colony as well. Just a small one, maybe some Caribbean islands, just this. And I guess we could give them a few islands in the Caribbean as well. Mostly just in the Southern Caribbean. We're also going to give them another mega colony in Europe, just consisting of a few colonies. You guys want to tell me in the comments on what you guys want to see, I will put it in this if I can get to your comment. Mali and Greece. Mali joins Greece's alliance, and they want to split Guyana in half, so they do that. This really benefits the people of Guyana because Mali is a pretty rich country now that they've joined Greece's alliance, which is a very rich country. Greece is the dominant, I would say they're the dominant, like, shipping nation. They're basically replacing China in that position. And Romania is being outdone. Greece decides that it wants to go to war and have a solo war versus Romania, which nearly fully conquers Romania and then puppets the rest of Romania, which angers Russia because they had plans of expanding in Romania. And that Austria, Estonia, Ukraine all join the alliance. And the Czech Republic is a puppet of Austria. And now Hungary is completely surrounded by enemies. So they decide to conquer them. And Greece takes all the Romanian lands. Albania takes all the Slavic, like that. And bang. Then Croatia and Austria will get the rest. Okay, let's just give that to Croatia. Oops. Wrong one. And Austria decides they want to annex this Czech Republic. And Greece buys the Spanish islands in the Mediterranean. Like that. France kind of wants to create its own empire, so decides to conquer Algeria, or just the upper most populated place, and the rest of it gets conquered by Greece. I know I'm giving a lot of land to Greece, but they're a pretty rich country, and I'm mostly giving them lands around this area. I was planning on focusing on the Greek alliance in this episode, but I feel like that's a bit much. So I guess there should be another powerful nation in Europe other than them. So I think that we should give Norway to Sweden. And with this gain of Norway, we'll give Sweden those islands. The Faroe Islands. If I can click on them. Like that. And those. Never mind, that connects to Scotland. Okay. And let's also give them Iceland. So basically they're doing Scandinavia. You know what, guys? Let's go to Asia and do some Asia things. I guess, guys, China's gonna have enemies. They're basically... let's do... How about we have Thailand take over this region? And a war happens between Malaysia and Thailand. Thailand conquers this side of Malaysia. And Indonesia conquers the other part. And also Brunei. I think that's just gonna clean up. And East Timor. And I think that New Guinea should go to another country. Oh, guys, we got New Zealand down here. Let's give them some land too. Alright, guys, I think that's good. Oops. And we should definitely give some land to Australia, like Timor Island. And some islands around here. Like New Guinea Island. We're focusing too much on Europe, guys, so I guess we'll just change some things around in this area of the world. And you know what? Let's give Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. And how about all the Pacific nations create their own alliance? And it could be the South Asian Alliance, or the Oceania South Asian Alliance. or it could be the Asian bloc, and we can include India, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, South Korea, Japan, and like all these nations. Maybe China and Kazakhstan work together. I'll make another change. I'm sorry to do this to any people that are Polish, because this is gonna be a massacre. This just seems right. I think that Germany should definitely end up conquering lots of swaths of Poland, just so we have another powerful nation in Europe. We'll actually just give them this land, and then they'll basically become a puppet. And Germany is going to be pretty powerful now at this point, and goes to war with France, taking some lands from France. And Italy seizes their opportunity to conquer some lands from France. So that's not France. But just only beats them, conquering little bits of land in France, because Italy is a weak country at this point. And this angers Greece, seeing that Italy is expanding, so I think that they will declare war on Italy, taking more lands and punishing them for doing this, even taking their capital of Rome. And decides they get no access to this side of the Mediterranean and have to come through this side, which is entirely controlled by them. So they're basically landlocked. If the Greeks have something to say about it, they only have to blockade like a good maybe 50-60 miles right here. This area is probably like 50-60 miles. That's all they have to blockade. And they can include all the Mediterranean nations except that are in their alliance. And guys, I think that this colonization, the Greeks have many allies. Guys, we're not going to do anything with Western Africa. It's just not going to work out for us. Nothing with Western Africa. Okay, guys, so we should maybe create, like, an empire down here that just conquers. Gorban decides that they want to conquer a lot of land in Africa and want to create their own empire. So they conquer all of Cameroon, Central Africa, and let's just give them a crap ton of land. Just because I don't want to give all of the land in Africa to European nations. So they would probably be scared of Cameroon, or not Cameroon, Gorban. Let's give them a crap ton of land, guys. A crap ton of land. Basically, like all of the western coast of Africa. That's like mostly what they're gonna get. Let's just give this area to Gorban. They're going to be a pretty strong nation after this conquest. All this free lands in Africa gets them pretty strong. I'm actually pretty happy with that. It doesn't look too bad at all. And then I think that Morocco is the only free nation, so it should be conquered. This part should be conquered by Greece. And then this part is going to be conquered by Spain. And that's all we're gonna do in Africa, unless some of the European nations get into a conflict or something. All the nations in Africa are basically allies at this point. Madagascar is pretty neutral. And I think this is where I'm going to end this video off right here, because it's probably getting around 20 minutes, and I want to start making my videos short.